Welcome to our channel. Today we delve into one of the most chilling haunted objects ever documented, the Dybbuk box. This story begins with a man named Kevin Mannis and a simple purchase that turned his life upside down. The unassuming wooden box sat nestled amongst dusty trinkets and forgotten relics. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the air was thick with the scent of aged wood and history. The shop was filled with items that had stories to tell, each one a silent witness to the passage of time. It seemed ordinary, even mundane, just another piece in a collection of forgotten memories waiting for someone to give it a new life. But appearances can be deceiving, and this box was anything but ordinary. But it held a dark secret, a malevolent presence that would soon unleash chaos and terror. Hidden within its wooden confines was a force that had been waiting, biding its time, ready to be unleashed upon the world. This was no ordinary antique. This was the Dybbuk box, a relic of dark folklore. It was said to be a vessel for a restless spirit, a Dybbuk that could possess and torment the living. Our story begins with Kevin Mannis, an antique dealer with a keen eye for hidden treasures. He had a knack for finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, for uncovering the hidden gems that others overlooked. In 2001, he found himself drawn to an estate sale in Portland, Oregon. The air was crisp and the atmosphere was charged with the excitement of discovery. Estate sales were a treasure trove for someone like Mannis, a place where the past and present collided. Amongst the usual assortment of furniture and bric-a-brac, a small wine cabinet-like box caught his attention. It was unassuming, yet there was something about it that seemed to call out to him, as if it had been waiting for him all along. Intrigued, he purchased it, unaware of the sinister force he had just invited into his life. He saw it as a unique find, a piece with character and history, but he had no idea of the dark journey that lay ahead. The box, he learned, had once belonged to a Holocaust survivor, a woman who had escaped the horrors of Nazi Germany. Her story was one of survival and resilience, but the box she left behind carried a different kind of legacy. She claimed it held a Dybbuk, a malevolent spirit from Jewish folklore, a restless soul that could not find peace. It was said to bring misfortune and suffering to those who encountered it. She warned her family never to open it, fearing the consequences. Her words were a dire warning, a plea to leave the past undisturbed, but sometimes curiosity can be a powerful force. But her warnings were ignored. The box changed hands, passed down through generations, each one tempted by the mystery it held. Driven by curiosity and perhaps a touch of skepticism, Mannis decided to open the box. He was a man of logic and reason, not one to be swayed by tales of the supernatural. As he lifted the lid, a wave of cold air washed over him, and a foul, pungent odor filled the air. It was a smell unlike anything he had ever encountered, a mix of decay and something far more sinister. He dismissed it as musty old wood, but deep down, a seed of unease had been planted. There was something about the box that felt wrong, something that gnawed at the edges of his mind. He had unwittingly opened a doorway, and something ancient and evil had stepped through. The air seemed to grow colder, and shadows danced at the edge of his vision. The nightmare had begun, and there was no turning back. To understand the terror that awaited Kevin Mannis, we must delve into the shadowy realm of Jewish folklore. This realm is filled with tales of spirits, curses, and ancient rituals that have been passed down through generations. The Dybbuk box, as its name suggests, is believed to be a vessel for a Dybbuk, a restless, malicious spirit that can possess the living. In Jewish mysticism, a Dybbuk is the dislocated soul of a deceased person, unable to find peace. These spirits are often tormented by unresolved issues from their past lives. Driven by anger, guilt, or a desire for revenge, it seeks refuge in the physical world by possessing a living host. This possession is not just a mere haunting, it is a complete takeover of the host's body and mind. The Dybbuk feeds on the life force of its victim, causing illness, misfortune, and madness. The host often experiences severe physical and mental distress as the Dybbuk's malevolent energy takes its toll. The Dybbuk's presence is marked by a series of unfortunate events ranging from minor accidents to severe illnesses. The victim's life becomes a living nightmare as the spirit's influence grows stronger. Traditionally, Dybbuks are said to inhabit inanimate objects, often small enclosed spaces like boxes or amulets. These objects serve as a temporary refuge for the spirit, allowing it to bide its time until it finds a suitable host. These objects become conduits for the spirit's malevolence, spreading fear and misfortune wherever they go. The mere presence of such an object can cause unease and dread among those who come into contact with it. The Dybbuk box, with its unknown origins and sinister reputation, seem to fit this description perfectly. Its dark history and the eerie experiences of those who have encountered it only add to its mystique. Stories of the Dybbuk box have been shared and retold, each account adding another layer to its legend. Some believe that the box was created during a dark ritual, while others think it was a vessel for a spirit seeking revenge. Regardless of its true origins, the Dybbuk box remains a powerful symbol of the unknown and the supernatural. It serves as a reminder of the thin veil between our world and the realm of spirits. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the Dybbuk box, we are reminded of the rich tapestry of Jewish folklore and the enduring power of these ancient tales. They connect us to a past filled with wonder, fear, and the unexplainable. The Dybbuk box is more than just an object. It is a gateway to understanding the complexities of human belief and the timeless struggle between good and evil. Shortly after acquiring the box, Mannis began to experience a series of disturbing events. It all started with small, almost imperceptible changes in his environment. Lights flickered without reason, and objects seemed to move on their own. The atmosphere in his home grew increasingly oppressive, as if an unseen force was watching his every move. Strange smells like rotting flesh and cat urine permeated his home. These odors would come and go without warning, often lingering for hours, making it difficult for Mannis to stay in his own house. He tried to find a logical explanation, but nothing made sense. The smells were unlike anything he had ever encountered before. Vivid nightmares plagued his sleep, filled with images of a hag-like woman and an overwhelming sense of dread. Each night, the dreams grew more intense, leaving Mannis exhausted and fearful of falling asleep. The hag's face was etched into his mind, her eyes filled with malice and her presence suffocating. He would wake up in a cold sweat, heart pounding, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. He gifted the box to his mother, hoping to distance himself from the growing unease. Mannis thought that by removing the box from his home, he could rid himself of the strange occurrences. However, he was unaware of the true nature of the box and the entity that resided within it. But the entity within seemed to follow. No matter where the box went, the disturbances continued. It was as if the entity had formed a connection with Mannis and his family, refusing to let go. The sense of dread and unease only intensified, making it clear that the box was more than just an ordinary object. His mother suffered a stroke on the same day she received the box. The timing was too coincidental to ignore. Mannis couldn't help but feel responsible, believing that the box had somehow caused his mother's sudden illness. The guilt weighed heavily on him, adding to the already overwhelming stress. As she lay in the hospital, unable to speak, she managed to communicate one chilling message. Hate gift. These two words sent shivers down Mannis's spine. It was clear that his mother had felt the malevolent presence of the box and understood its dangerous nature. Her message was a stark warning, one that Mannis couldn't ignore. Mannis tried to rid himself of the cursed object, selling it to a friend, but the pattern continued. He hoped that by passing the box to someone else he could break free from its grip. However, the entity within the box seemed to have other plans. The friend experienced similar nightmares, health problems, and a string of unsettling occurrences. It became evident that the box carried a curse that affected anyone who came into contact with it. The friend, too, was tormented by the same hag-like figure in his dreams and faced inexplicable health issues. Terrified, he returned the box to Mannis, desperate to break free from its grasp. The friend couldn't handle the relentless torment and begged Mannis to take the box back. Mannis, now fully aware of the box's malevolent power, realized that he had to find a way to contain or destroy it before it could harm anyone else. The Dybbuk box seemed to carry a curse, leaving a trail of misfortune in its wake. Each new owner, drawn by curiosity or skepticism, soon became another victim in its sinister game. Stories of the box's malevolent influence began to circulate online, attracting attention and fueling its growing infamy. One owner, a student, claimed to have lost all his hair and developed a severe skin condition after acquiring the box. Another reported seeing shadowy figures and experiencing intense feelings of dread while in possession of the artifact. The stories, though varied in detail, shared a common thread. The Dybbuk box brought nothing but misery and despair. As the tale spread, so too did the legend of the Dybbuk box. It became a modern-day horror story, a cautionary tale about the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding.